Call the meeting to order, February 5th, 2019, Tax Committee / Planning and Zoning Committee. Is there a motion to consider? We need to call the roll first. Would you call the roll first?
Yes. Stickler?
Here.
Bard?
Here.
Doobie? Here. Whitlow?
Here.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Jed, second. Roger, any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Look over the claims for a couple minutes here. Is there a motion to approve the claims and send them on to the county board?
So made.
Leanne, second. Jed? Any discussion on the claims? Yes, Roger.
Yeah, I'm looking at the county highway department and they have a total here of $1,100,000 and then the report total is $1,103,000. Where'd that extra $3,000 come from?
Don't know. And that it's not obvious here, is it? Don't know, Roger. And since Joel isn't here, probably can't find out today.
I'm just wondering.
We need to bring that up later on, maybe a county board meeting, whatever.
Yeah, because they have the total highway department, 1,100,000, and then they have the report total,
Mhm.
1,103,000, so.
Yeah, can't explain that.
It's just
Yeah,
a question.
yeah, we need to keep that in mind. Are you on highway committee?
No.
Okay. Anybody here on highway? No? Okay. Okay, we'll look at that at some other point. Is there, any other questions? If not, clerk call the roll.
Sticknor,
Yes.
Curtis,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Doobie,
Yes.
Whitlow,
Yes.
Motion carries.
It's these two reports combined. You take these two pages together. 3,000,
Oh, okay, that's,
page 1 and 2.
Ah, okay,
It's just those 2 pages. It's all one report.
okay.
okay.
Yeah, I saw that 3,000, but I didn't see the page 1 and 2.
Yeah. It's just the 2 combined.
Okay.
Okay, well, then,
She just ran it, Jill just ran it as one report instead of 2
Yeah.
separate, so it's just adding the 2 together.
Well, that explains everything.
that was Kurt's 3,000.
Are there any public comments? If not, we will move on to reports from the departments. Lisa, do you have anything?
We're working on the consolidated election, which is April 4th. Early voting starts on the 21st of February. So ballot is almost complete, and we'll start printing ballots and getting all the equipment and everything ready. Business as usual for an election. Consolidated elections are obviously the lowest turnout, but they're kind of the most complicated because there's so many different ballot styles because we don't all vote on the same thing. So more work, less payout for us anyway. And then we're also doing whatever steps we can do to get ready for tax extension. There's 10 or 13 different things that we can work on while we're waiting for the assessment office to complete their work and roll to us. So election time and tax extension time are gonna be running neck and neck this year. Statements of economic interest will go out around the beginning of March, first week of March or something. So we're getting all those databases ready and ready for the large mailing. And that's about it.
Okay. Kurt, do you have anything?
We're just sending out proposals for the tax bill paper, so that, to see who can come up with what style we want and at the cheapest rate. So send it out to all the printing companies around in the county, so.
Okay. Any questions for department heads?
I got one for Lisa. Didn't you, if I remember right, 1 or 2 years ago that you might be having trouble with some of your machines or something?
Well, we've always had trouble with some of our machines. And yeah, they are getting old, and there's actually a big, it's a new law that I'm not sure if it's every year or every 2 years, we have to send in a kind of an analysis of all of our equipment, its age, serial number, and its functionality, and how well it's working. And they also wanted a letter this year with it, about how we all feel about how soon do we need new equipment, you know, is ours running good enough to last a few more years, what the cost might be. So they're working on it, you know. I'm hoping that part of their working on it will lead to make funds available through the Help America Vote Act, just like they did when we originally got the equipment. But yeah, well, we bought some new ones too. We took a few of the devices out of service, and then we bought a few new ones to replace. But I mean, they're touchy, they just always kinda have been. I feel like they're really not any worse than they were at the beginning.
Any other questions? If not, Bob, will you give your report and then move on into, the rezoning?
On the supervisor assessment side for the tax committee, the board review complaint deadline period has gone past. We are processing tentative decisions by the board review, and we will abstract and then obviously send out notices for final hearings. So that's progressing along, and hopefully get senior freeze applications out in the mail sometime in February. Pretty much it, trying to get everything and wrapped up through board review so we can get the extension process moving forward. So that's all I have for tax.
Okay. Well, we've got a rezoning application from A to agriculture to rural homestead 1. So Bob, could you fill us in on what's happening there?
First of all, here's my office report for zoning. Basically what it is, it's we keep a running track of building permit fees for the year and the what kind of permits we do. Obviously
I gave him.
oh, okay. The ag permit right now doesn't receive a fee. So be aware of that. It's and then, so then obviously it lists the number of inspections we've done year to date, and then also for the month. And then, so as you can see, January was a rather slow month, one permit with the 175. So that was it for that. So any questions on the actual office report? The claims listing is the second sheet. You saw it in your claims stuff anyway, but that's an actual breakdown just from my office, what the inspectors, and we had a zoning board of appeals hearing, so they're pretty in and mileage, just 2 members there. Okay, if there's no questions on that, we will have a rezoning request. James and Jeremy and Chelsea Witchner are requesting a rezoning of a property of approximately 5 acres. They are getting property deeded gifted to them by their Jeremy's in-laws, Chelsea's parents. It's out by, everybody is familiar with the old health spa out there in rural Onarga, Ullman area. It's right across the road from there. It's that shaded yellow area. They're requesting a zoning change from A2 to rural homestead 1 to build a residential home. As you can see there, the properties to the north are both rezoned already in prior years to rural homestead. The WF1 is waterfront 1, which is a residential rezoning, but it's touching this the creek to bed, so they actually gave it a waterfront zoning. Obviously the old Heartland Spa, which now is a rehab center, is zone B1 for business. So Jeremy, the applicant, is here. If you guys have any questions for him, we did the soil testing through soil and water, and ZBA did not have a quorum, but they did make a recommendation for approval. It's consistent with, it's an A2 zoning, which is close to residential communities, and also obviously there's residential property in the neighborhood. So he has not done any formal applications for well and septic yet, because obviously you don't spend any money unless you get the approval to go ahead and build a house. And years past, that ground with that, the yellow is the shaded area, which is approximately the 5 acres that they want to build the house where they're going to get deeded. At one time it was pasture ground for years, and then I think they've actually tried to farm it recently. 3 years. For the last couple of years. So, but it's part of the, it's actually part of the Robinson home place, which is Bill and Leanne, which is Chelsea's mom and dad. So Jeremy is here, if you have any questions for him, and I'll just open the floor for questions for Jeremy. He can answer if you guys have any. If not, it's pretty straightforward.
I'm real familiar with that area. It's, like you say, the rest of it has already been zoned for.
Right, everything going north to 24 is on between the creek and that road. It's pretty much all been rezoned residential.
I see no problem with it.
It seems to me that we're getting taxation now for, what, $25 an acre maybe for it?
Get that for that particular kind of soil right there.
And with a house, there's gonna be a big increase in taxes and it can go on for 100 years. So it seems like a win for. Okay, no questions? Then, is there a motion to approve the rezoning?
So made.
Leanne? Second?
Second.
Chad? Any further discussion? If not, clerk, would you call the roll?
Sticknot,
Yes.
Curtis.
Yeah.
Barr,
Yes.
Doobie,
Yes.
Whitlow.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, Jeremy, county board meeting, which is the binding vote, is next Wednesday at 9 o'clock in the same room. Zoning is tax, well, it'd be tax, so it's a little earlier on in the program, is it, are you gonna do, separate them out and have separate reports? Do you know, Marvin? One.
Yeah, there
Okay,
should
so,
just be one.
yeah, your attendance is not required for zoning county board. It's recommended, but it's not required like it is for these first two hearings, so, 9 o'clock next Wednesday in here, so. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any old business? Any new business?
I got something.
Yeah.
Yesterday at the management committee, it was brought up about solar farms and particularly decommissioning that, apparently, maybe it's in California, someplace where some solar farms have been decommissioned and instead of completely removing the panels, company took the panels down, laid them on the ground, they've been sitting there a long time. And because of the hazardous materials involved in those panels, there's some concern. So the suggestion was made by the management committee to look at the solar ordinance and review particularly the decommissioning process and make sure that that sort of thing would not occur here in the event of any decommissioning. So, I guess my recommendation would be to put that on the agenda for either next month or pretty soon to go through that and, see that we got that point covered. And it probably should pertain to wind farms as well. I don't know that we say in the decommissioning process that you have to completely remove and properly dispose in accordance with all of the current rules and regulations or not. But I think if we don't, we should have something like that in there.
Seemed like that's the way it was worded in the wind farm one, I believe.
Now, I can't remember and I didn't have a chance to look it
I
up.
think you hit it on the head there.
But it's something apparently is happening elsewhere, and we just want to be sure that we don't run into that problem here.
Well, the wind farms had to post a bond, didn't they, or something?
Yeah, they had so much they had to put up. Quite a bit too.
Yeah.
Right,
I will check
but
with-
the problem is that if whoever would be that's doing it, if they're gonna decommission, and they just take the structure down and lay it on the ground and leave it there for 6 months or a year or whatever, that's not in accordance with the way it should be done.
That's no good.
Okay. I'll check with Jim to see if that's considered a substantial change, if we're gonna change some wording in that one, the decommissioning paragraph. If it is, we'll have to go through the hearing process. If it's not, then we can just go through, review the decommissioning paragraph, and you guys can make a recommendation to go on to the full board to have it changed without any, going through the hearing process. So I will check with Jim on that to see if we have to you know, go through the whole big hullabaloo with ZBA and then, you know, so I'd rather not. If it's the wording, if it's a minor wording change on the overall decommissioning, if we can just do that, so I'll check into that.
How many locations do we have now in the county for, solar
Actually-
farm arrays?
Actually, specific sites, we have, I think, 5, but 3 of those sites have 2 separate
Yeah.
applications on each site. So we're right around 9 to 10.
Okay.
And I haven't heard anything on how the lottery's going at the state level. All our stuff's been submitted to the companies. So we're just kind of seeing who gets drawn out of the hat, I guess, so to speak. And
How many are the state allocating?
what'd they say? It was, trying to think what one of the representatives said. As far as submitted application, it's gonna be a really big number
Yeah.
statewide, and that's gonna be a real, percentage-wise, you'll be lucky to get 1 or 2. I doubt if we get more than 2 out of those 9 at the start. Obviously, those conditional uses are, you know, will continue on. Obviously, the state has, by statute, has to be 25% non-renewable by 2025, I believe, isn't it, John? So this first phase is only, gets us maybe to not even 10% non-renewable with wind and solar, so there'll be more, I'm sure there'll be, you know, the way it's going, there'll be more down the road. So changing the ordinance would be, you know, if that's what, you know, would be nothing, just to, since it's not a big deal right now, not to do, you need to do it, if that's what you guys so choose.
It's likely that the solar farm application or situation for the county farm will be added to that list also.
Has anything been happening as far as the county farm, solar farm?
Well, it was reviewed at management committee yesterday, the contract with the citrine outfit has come in and been reviewed by Mr. Devine, and it's in order, but I guess it has to go back to him for some further review, but it's progressing along to the point where pretty soon, I guess it'll be ready for ZBA hearing and the whole 9 yards.
And just to clarify, everything we have is the 2 megawatt size for the lottery. If you noticed down in Champaign County, they just had an application approved several weeks ago of like a 100-acre solar farm. And that is totally different from this lottery program. That is a private investment, you know, we haven't had anybody even inquire about anything like that at this point. So, but those are, you know, you hear both kinds, just to make sure you distinguish what they're talking about, so.
Okay, any other discussion on new business? If not, there's a motion to adjourn the meeting. Roger, second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
No? Meeting adjourned.